Hi, my name is Julia Gaddis Brown. I've been a manager in office equipment for a very long time, very successful. I was my claim to fame, I was a very young 31-year-old regional president of a company and was very successful. And I found myself, after going through a divorce and becoming a single mom, that my, at the time, I think 6-year-old daughter was being put on the bus by her, at the time I think they were 11 and 12, trying to get her on the bus every morning because I had to be on the other side of Atlanta by 7:30. And as a single mom, that was it was difficult more on me as a parent. Anytime you have to leave your child, it's heart-wrenching, and it makes it very difficult to do any job. And I just found that it was going to work for me. I couldn't do it any longer. And so I found myself out of work, thinking I would get something sooner than I did. So I found myself really needing help. I had depleted all of my savings. And being a very proud individual, as I've always been independent all my life, I needed somewhere to get assistance. So I called, I made an appointment. The ladies were wonderful, and they told me that I could, I had 3 kids, and they said, well, based on having 3 kids, you can get groceries. And I was blown away. I was like, I can get what? And they're like, yeah, you can get food. So I signed up for the program, and I think I came, I didn't want to come every day. I didn't want to come every week because, I still felt like this was for someone else. It wasn't necessarily for me because, I did live up in Alpharetta in a very nice house, and I drove a nice car, and so I just never looked at it as a place that I should belong. But they welcomed me in. Everybody was wonderful. I came and I got enough food every week to feed my family, and it helped to offset the cash that I did have. My kids were so excited when I'd come home with the food. And then, as I was starting to get back on my feet, I continued to have difficulty with just paying bills, paying my mortgage. I was keeping the lights on as best I could. I came to North Fulton Charities, and I just asked the lady at the desk, I said, I'm having some trouble making my mortgage payment. And she said, well, we have a program for that. You have to do an interview. And I did. I interviewed, and they said, well, we don't guarantee what we can do. The next thing I knew, she wrote out a $500 check to Quicken. And that I can't tell you how tremendous that was in my life at the time, because I didn't know where I was going to turn. I didn't want me and my kids to be on the street. The other service that I received, it was leading up to Christmas that year. And we, once again, low on money, 3 kids, and you don't want your kids to have nothing for Christmas. And my kids aren't, if they would have gotten nothing, it would have been okay with them. But as a parent, you want to be able to provide something. 2 ladies that were volunteering, I'll never forget, they were so sweet. They took me from station to station. For each child, I got to pick out 2 gifts. My daughter, I get emotional because it was such a time in my life when, I just didn't know where I was going to turn, and I walk in and I didn't know where the gifts were going to come from, and I end up with a bicycle, and I end up with gift cards and just pajama sets, and enough gifts for 3 kids, and if you've never asked for anything in your life, to have an organization that that just helps people. That place was packed that day, and I looked around and I said, oh my God, these people are just so giving of themselves, and they're volunteering, and somebody donated this stuff, and I kind of felt like, why wasn't I donating? Why wasn't I in there, years before I got into this situation and helping out? But it was just so overwhelming for me, and the minute, it didn't take me long to get back on my feet. But I started giving to North Fulton Charities, and I tell my friends to give as well. I do a monthly gift that's an automatic draft that I'm like, that comes off the top, because it is such a wonderful program that you have here. And I tell people about it all the time. I'm like, if you're in need, just sometimes say something to somebody. Don't feel like you have to go it alone, because there are organizations, and North Fulton Charities is one of them, that just freely helps.